A superhero is often the main character that we root for, but despite how great of a hero our main character is, there's always a big bad villain who becomes a threat and obstacle for the hero. In order for a superhero to be interesting, they need a supervillain. So, for today, we're going to be giving our top 10 list of the greatest superhero and supervillain dynamic of all time. But, before we get started on this list, we got a few rules about that must be discussed. Rule number 1. We can only include one superhero and one villain per rank. For example, if we were actually trying to make an accurate list of the top 10 greatest superhero and supervillain dynamics, Batman would pretty much take up the entire list because he has the best chemistry and dynamics with his villains. It would make it unfair to other heroes and villains. So because of that, we decided to limit the numbers down to only one hero and villain per ranking. Rule number 2. This list is primarily based around fan opinions. Every hero and villain that you see on here is placed by fan votes. Whoever lands on a certain number, it's a universally agreed upon opinion. Now that we've finally explained our rules, let's finally dive into the top 10 greatest superhero and supervillain dynamics of all time. Number 10. Thor and Loki. This hero and villain dynamic is a very deep and complex one. It's a relationship that dives more than just being a good guy and bad guy. It's a battle between two step-brothers. Thor is meant to be the next king of Asgard. Odin, his father, is meant to pass the torch down to him, while Loki feels left out, and doesn't get the same fair treatment from the Asgardians. This created a compelling dynamic between Thor and Loki. One of them wants to actually fulfill their father's dreams, while one of them goes full-on rogue, and starts to act out. This dynamic was very intriguing for comic book fans, and it was also adapted quite well into live action despite the Thor movie being a hit or miss. Thor and Loki's hero and villain dynamic led to the assemble of the Avengers. They absolutely earned their spot on this list. Number 9. Professor X and Magneto. This is arguably Marvel's most iconic hero and villain dynamic. Whenever someone talks about a Marvel storyline, this is one of the first that'll come to mind. Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, and Eric Lehnsherr, aka Magneto, is one of the most well-written hero and villain dynamic of all time. What makes this rivalry so incredible is that they both used to be best friends who loved each other like brothers. They formed the X-Men together, and successfully recruited other mutants to the team. But their relationship came to a downward spiral when both of them had different beliefs. Professor X felt they should make a peaceful deal with the government to allow mutants and humans to coexist together. Despite all the violence, Xavier believed that there is a more subtle and meaningful way to end this conflict. While Magneto felt they should fight against the humans because he believes despite how much effort Xavier puts into trying to form peace, the humans will always find a way to backstab the mutants by attempting to erase them. What makes this rivalry so amazing is the fact that we can see both sides. We understand why Professor X wants to lean towards the peaceful way, because he experienced the Holocaust. He doesn't want to see another mass genocide being created again in the modern world. But at the same time, we can see Magneto's perspective as well, because he cares about the mutants. He wants to unite them all in one to defeat the humans who threatens them. Professor X and Magneto's hero and villain dynamic is one that fans still debate, who was right, or wrong. It absolutely deserves its spot on this list. Number 8. Captain America and Red Skull. Although, most fans were quite disappointed that this rivalry was a letdown in live action. There's no denying that the comic book version was epic. What makes Captain America and Red Skull's rivalry epic was that it's a comic book version of World War II. Captain America is supposed to be the American patriot who is willing to die for his country, while Red Skull is a Marvel equivalent to a dictator, like Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. The battle between Shield and Hydra has become one of Marvel's most iconic battles. Captain America and Red Skull's dynamic is the definition of good versus evil. Captain America is a super soldier, willing to fight and take the risks for his country, while Red Skull is an evil and cruel dictator, who is willing to start a mass world genocide through the spread of Hydra. Captain America and Red Skull's rivalry is a fictionalized version of World War II. It amazed comic book fans by how well it managed to replicate historical events that occurred in American history. Captain America and Red Skull absolutely deserves their spot on this list. Number 7. Wolverine and Sabretooth. Let me tell you guys something, though. Wolverine and Sabretooth are not brothers. X-Men, Origins Wolverine, is one of the worst superhero movies of all time. The movie is garbage, it's terrible, it didn't even know how to accurately portray Wolverine and Sabretooth. It couldn't even get Gambit and Deadpool right. The movie doesn't even know why Wolverine became Wolverine. It's a terrible adaptation. If you only know about Wolverine and Sabretooth from this movie, then you are lost. You are not a real fan, you're just a casual. The true Wolverine and Sabretooth dynamic, that is actually good, came from the comics. What actually went down in the comics was that both Wolverine and Sabretooth were Weapon X projects, who were experimented on. They were both meant to be the top projects to help Weapon X take contract of the government, but instead, their test subjects became an ultimate failure, leading to Wolverine becoming an unhinged hero, and Sabretooth becoming an unhinged mutant, who is criminally insane and brutal. Wolverine is a lost mutant, who tries to use his mutant abilities to blend in with society, while Sabretooth is recruited by Magneto, becoming a pure evil villain, who kills civilization as a sport. Their dynamic is like a battle between two tests of the same subjects, but different outcomes. Wolverine and Sabretooth's dynamic is great, and unique experience. They are not brothers, the movie just portrayed them stupidly. The comic book version, and the cartoons, was the true rivalry, that earned them a spot on this list. Number 6. Wonder Woman and Ares. This hero and villain rivalry is very similar to Professor X, and Magneto's. It's also similar to Thor, and Loki, but it dives much deeper, and has greater meaning. Both Diana Prince, and Ares, are half-siblings, they are both children of Zeus. But one of them is meant to be the Amazon princess, and future queen, while one of them was raised to become a god of war. Yes, Kratos was inspired by the character of Ares. What makes this dynamic so good is that, Wonder Woman believes humanity is worth saving, while Ares believes they are a threat to Amazonian society. This causes a clash in sibling relationship, leading to them having to battle to the death. What makes this battle so amazing is that it actually led to Batman finding out about the existence of Amazon. This led to Batman studying their powers and weaknesses, hence why Batman is able to beat Wonder Woman, because he experimented on all her skills. Wonder Woman and Ares rivalry is one of the fan favorites amongst comic book fans. It's one of the greatest storylines about belief, and right or wrong. Wonder Woman and Ares absolutely deserves their spot. Number 5. Optimus Prime and Megatron. The only hero and villain rivalry on this list, that isn't from DC or Marvel. Yes, if you are confused, Optimus qualifies as a superhero, and Megatron qualifies as a supervillain. This rivalry is a classic, and is one that many fans have grown to love. Optimus Prime is the leader of the Autobots, while Megatron is the leader of the Decepticons. Both Optimus and Megatron were once the two main leaders of Cybertron. They led the planet together, and helped each other keep the existence. But, unfortunately, once again, we have a disagreement in belief. Optimus wants to give freedom of speech for everyone, he believes in capitalism, Democrat and Republican style. While Megatron believed in control and dictatorship, communist style. This led to the Autobots and Decepticons clashing in disbelief. Whoever was on Optimus' side were forced to battle against anyone on Megatron's side. This is one of the greatest hero and villain dynamics ever, because it led to the destruction of Cybertron. It made everyone question, why did we battle over this, when it caused our great planet to fall? Optimus and Megatron may not have been from DC or Marvel, but it absolutely deserves to be on this list, alongside them. Number 4. Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. The ultimate rivalry when it comes to Marvel. This arguably the greatest hero and villain dynamic in Marvel history. Peter Parker loves science, he views Dr. Otto Octavius as a mentor, and even a father-like figure. But unfortunately, Peter is forced to battle his mentor and idol when Otto let his jealousy and hate towards Norman Osborn get the better of him. Otto experimented on a project that allows you to use a robot-like octopus tentacles that is meant to cure Alzheimer's and paralyzation. This test subject clearly went wrong. It led to Otto Octavius becoming Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man is forced to fight against his mentor. He doesn't want to bear the idea to fight his idol, but is forced to, in order to protect everyone. It's one of the most emotional and heartfelt battles in comic book history. It cemented Spider-Man as one of the big three of superheroes, alongside Batman and Superman. This incredible rivalry is arguably Spider-Man's greatest battle. Yes, we absolutely agree that Green Goblin is arguably Spider-Man's most iconic villain, but that rivalry was a more one-sided battle. Dr. Octopus served as a more meaningful obstacle and connection to Spider-Man. Which is why it was Spider-Man's chosen rivalry to be on this list. Number 3. Superman and Lex Luthor. One of the greatest and most iconic hero and villain rivalries in fiction. It is one that defined comic books. Clark Kent was just a young man, trying to live his life, working at the Daily Planet, while also being Superman. Lex Luthor is a cocky and rich scumbag. Lex Luthor is jealous that Bruce Wayne is seen as the heroic billionaire. He wants to claim that title from Bruce Wayne, but knows he can't, so he attempts to become a billionaire hero in Metropolis, but his campaign also fails when Superman emerges as the hero of Metropolis, that everyone loves and respects. This led to Lex Luthor manipulating everyone. He used his technological skills to study Superman's powers and abilities. He studied Kryptonian culture. Lex Luthor eventually found out that Superman was originally sent to Earth to conquer the planet and restore Kryptonian life. Lex Luthor used this as a way to frame Superman, causing the people of Metropolis to turn on him. This became a battle between heroism and jealousy. Superman was the ultimate hero, who had no clue that his parents wanted him to conquer Earth, while Lex Luthor is a jealous billionaire, who manipulated a city. This clash also proves that Superman may be strong, but he's also weak when it comes to mentality. Lex Luthor manages to outsmart Superman, and is only defeated due to the help of Batman and his technology. This rivalry is incredible, because Lex Luthor actually managed to succeed in nearly turning a whole city against Superman, but he eventually loses. Superman claims his throne as the hero of Metropolis. This rivalry absolutely deserves to be on this list. Number 2. The Flash and Reverse Flash. This is arguably the most intense rivalry in superhero history. It is one that left a huge mark on many fans. It's a rivalry that dives into something deep and personal. Reverse Flash is actually someone from the future, who once idolized Flash until he accidentally killed his parents while running past buildings during destruction. The Reverse Flash manages to create his own machine in his own lab, hence why he managed to gain the same powers as Barry Allen. This clash led to something personal. Barry Allen is not aware that something like this was going to happen, because Reverse Flash is from the future. This clash led to a personal battle between lost, grief, and family matter. It created a compelling dynamic that led to Barry Allen questioning his methods. This made Barry Allen question his heroism. He began changing his ways of doing things so that he doesn't cost lost and grief. The personal battle and rivalry between the Flash and Reverse Flash is one of the ultimate fan-favorite rivalries in superhero history. It absolutely deserves its spot. Number 1. Batman and the Joker. Batman is the most famous and beloved superhero in history. He's widely considered the most well-written and critically acclaimed superhero ever. He has the best stories, and the best development. His villains play a massive role into that. Earlier in this video, we stated that we wanted to limit this list down to only one hero and villain per rank, because if we were actually trying to be realistic, it is absolutely true that Batman would have taken up this entire list, because Batman has the most iconic and legendary villains in fiction. What amplifies the respect is that Batman has an incredible connection to all of his villains. The Joker is a test to Batman's morality. The Riddler is a test to Batman's intelligence. Two-Face is a test to Batman's justices. Ra's al Ghul is a test to Batman's mentality through his training. Scarecrow is a test to Batman's trauma as a kid. Deathstroke is a test to Batman's skill and physical capabilities. The Court of Owls is a test to Batman's mythical legend. All of Batman's villains are just so incredibly well written to the point where he could have definitely just taken up every spot on this top 10 list. Batman's chemistry with his villains are so great, it would have made it unfair to the other characters on this list. But, since we wanted to make this list fair and square, we can only choose one Batman villain to be on here. As his greatest enemy, we all know, it's gotta be the Joker. Batman and the Joker are the most popular, famous, iconic, legendary, and most well-respected hero and villain dynamic of all time. It's the most widely known. Whenever someone talks about hero versus villain, Batman and the Joker are always the instant first click to someone's mind. But it runs deeper than just that. Batman and the Joker's rivalry is so popular, because it's unique. It's not like the other rivalries on this list. Every hero and villain dynamic that we just talked about earlier, is mainly about the villain either being jealous, having different beliefs, and wanting to kill the hero. It's a common cycle that repeated throughout this list. But Batman and the Joker stands out because their rivalry is not based on any of these topics that we just listed. The Joker does not want to kill Batman. He's not jealous of Batman, he's not trying to be a physical threat to Batman, he's trying to destroy Batman's reputation. The Joker knows that Batman would never kill, so he decides to put him to the test. Instead of trying to kill Batman, the Joker tries to push Batman to kill him, so that he can break his no-kill rule, and shatter his reputation. This creates the most complex and unique rivalry in fiction. When Batman first met the Joker, he assumed that the Joker was just some guy, who is causing chaos to make money, or become the top criminal in Gotham. But no, Batman learns that the Joker's true motives is all about trying to break his morality. That's why the Joker is a test to Batman's moral control. What makes this even better is that the Joker actually succeeded. He pushed Batman to where he was forced to kill Harvey Dent to save Gordon's children, forcing Batman to take the blame for Harvey's crimes. The Joker was the one who successfully turned Batman into the iconic nickname, the Dark Knight. This caused Bruce Wayne to have to start a new redemption arc by trying to regain his reputation. This is why Batman is considered the best superhero, because he actually loses, and must learn from it. Other superheroes like Spider-Man and Iron Man were inspired and influenced by Batman's creative structure. The vast majority of fans consider Batman and the Joker as the greatest superhero and supervillain dynamic of all time, because it's not about world destruction, it's not about jealousy, it's not about brotherhood, it's not about being a king or a ruler, it's not about fighting with magical powers. Instead, it's about the battle between morality and justice. It's about testing Batman to his greatest code. The Joker still tries his absolutely best. He even turned Jason Todd, one of Batman's Robins, into manipulating him by becoming the Red Hood. Batman's whole journey as a hero is constantly being tested by the Joker's psychotic, but brilliant plans. And despite everything the Joker has done, Batman still wins the battle of morality by proving to the Joker that he is Gotham's protector. Batman wins the battle for the soul of Gotham by sparing the Joker's life, ultimately changing his mind, and letting the Joker die in suffrage, rather than taking the easy way out. Batman and the Joker will always be the top hero and villain dynamic in fiction. The Dark Knight is widely considered the greatest superhero movie of all time, and Batman and the Joker's rivalry played a huge role onto why The Dark Knight cannot be topped. Batman and the Joker's rivalry is so critically acclaimed, it's the only fictional rivalry that has appeared in all medias, across movies, comics, TV shows, video games, and even Lego-related themes. It's a generational story that will always be legendary. Batman and the Joker are the definition of how to do a perfect hero and villain rivalry. They easily come in at first place.